All right, today we're diving into the really haunting speculative story, Whispers of the Deep. It asks a pretty profound question. What if the ocean isn't just water? What if it's alive? What if it's aware? And what if it actually has plans for us?
So, let's just kick things off with a fact that sets the entire stage for this. We like to think we know our own planet, right? But get this, less than 10% of our oceans have actually been explored. The story we're about to unpack uses this fact not just as a statistic, but as a warning. The vast majority of our world is a complete and total mystery.
And that brings us to our first section, A Whisper from the Deep. Our whole story begins with our protagonist, a girl named Akira, whose entire life has been shaped by this weird, unexplainable connection to the ocean.
Just imagine this for a second. Even when she was miles away from the shore, Akira could hear it. This constant, low whisper that absolutely no one else could hear. It was a secret she's had to keep her entire life. And then, boom, everything changes. A mysterious new student, Mio, shows up. And with this one single question, Mio proves she knows Akira's secret. It instantly validates a whole lifetime of strangeness, and it just deepens the mystery tenfold. Who is this girl?
And this is where the story does something really clever. It grounds its fantasy in a piece of uncanny reality. Think about it. In the absolute pitch-black darkness below 1,000 meters, there are bioluminescent creatures. They literally create their own light in a world that has never ever known the sun.
And that leads to a really chilling question, doesn't it? Is it for mating? Maybe for hunting? Or, and this is what the story suggests, is it because they are being watched? What if that light isn't for them, but for something else lurking down there in the dark?
Okay, on to section 2, The Girl from the Ocean. It becomes pretty clear that Mio's arrival is no coincidence. She seems to hold the key to understanding what Akira's been hearing her whole life.
And this is where you just see how, otherworldly Mio is. Her knowledge is completely impossible. She knows about ocean currents that aren't on any map, she hears sounds our best instruments can't even detect, and she warns about these forbidden places to dive.
And then, the bomb drops. The story's first huge reveal. Mio just comes out and confesses this to Akira, and the line just hangs there in the air. It's the confirmation of every single suspicion, and it's the real turning point of the whole story.
But here's the really unexpected part, Akira's reaction. Instead of being terrified, she feels the total opposite. She feels this sense of belonging. So the mystery isn't just a mystery anymore. It's suddenly a story about this deep, impossible connection.
So that brings us to section 3, and the big question, right? How can this kind of connection even exist? Well, the story proposes a pretty fantastic theory to explain the whole thing.
So here it is. The story speculates that these beings from the deep can come up to the surface, but they're emotionally incomplete. They need to find a human connection to experience something they just can't on their own. Love. All right, now in section 4, The Ocean Stares Back, the story totally shifts gears. It's not just a personal romance anymore. It becomes something much bigger, and honestly a lot more terrifying.
In this absolutely pivotal scene, the ocean itself is personified. The water becomes this conscious entity. As Akira is standing there at the shore with Mio, she can feel the gaze of this huge, ancient being fixed right on her. And then she sees it. Just a glimpse of something colossal moving in the depths. And the description is intentionally vague, right? It creates this sense of Lovecraftian dread, an intelligence so ancient and so vast it's just completely beyond our ability to comprehend.
And once again, the story yanks us back to reality with a seriously chilling fact. Real scientists have actually recorded these massive, unexplained sounds from the deep, like the bloops, sounds that have no known geological or biological source. It really makes you wonder, what is down there?
And this is where the story just starts firing off these huge, speculative questions that form its philosophical core. First one, what if the ocean isn't an ecosystem, but a single, thinking organism?
The implications of that are just staggering. Every probe we send down, every ship on the surface, what if that's not us exploring? What if it's an invitation? What if we're the ones in the petri dish?
And here it is, the most chilling question of all. The one that reframes their entire connection as something, sinister. What if love isn't a feeling at all? What if it's a lure? A method this vast
consciousness uses to claim a human being for itself. So, all of this barrels toward our final section, the final choice. It all comes down to the single, irreversible decision for Akira. Now that she understands the stakes, she has to make a choice that is going to define her fate forever.
Mio makes the offer plain and simple. Come with me and leave your world behind. For good. The fear is real. She knows she'll never come back. But her love for Mio is just stronger. And so she accepts, choosing the total unknown with Mio over the life she knows without her.
But wait, just when you think it's a romantic, if bittersweet, ending, the story hits you with one final, ominous twist. For the very first time, we see this flicker of alarm in Mio's eyes. She knows something that Akira doesn't, that this transformation isn't always a gentle one.
And that is exactly where the story leaves us, on this haunting, unresolved cliffhanger. Now that Akira has chosen the deep, will this vast consciousness that's waiting there embrace her as one of its own? Or will it simply consume her? It's a question that's absolutely designed to stick with you long after the story is over.